As we start into the game, our semifinal, I have a personal highlight. I have to just go over this again. So normally when we are in lobbies, oftentimes casters are being asked, are you ready? And I personally find that always a very annoying question, because I'm sitting there and I'm always making sure that as soon as the lobby is up, I'm in, I adjust my overlays, and I'm just waiting. So trying to talk to the chat and see that everybody is there. So every time that question pops up, I'm just replying, guys, always assume I'm ready. Never ask me, just start. I'm ready whenever this begins. And I started to refuse to answer the question, and now we're in the lobby. The casters get asked again, casters, are you ready? And I'm just sitting there, I was like, I'm not saying anything. And Stork, who's currently co-casting with the Russian caster, as far as I know, he comes in and says, Khaldor taught me as a caster, you should always be ready and not make people wait for you, so yes, I'm ready. Stork, my boy, right there. Team Russia already qualified for Division S, so he can now sit tight, sit back, and cast in Russian a little bit together, I think with Milosh, if I'm not mistaken, as we are heading in probably the most important game of this qualifier. And I'm not even joking. All the other teams are pretty much already confirmed for Division S. This game is going to decide who makes it in. Me Machine or the Mousequetaires. One of the two. The French team or the Me Machine? That's the question right now. The Me Machine, one of the Division 1 teams. We had a lot of fun with these bad boys in Division 1. Up to a point where I repeatedly said as the qualifiers were dropping, guys, you have to make sure that you participate in Division S. You are a pleasure to watch, and I want to see how you would do going up against the best of them. Which annoyed actually Sugar Daddy and also Death Knight a little bit, because they were sitting there saying like, well, but then we have to actually try. And they've been trying, and they are close. But the strong French team here that in not quite that setup, but a few of the players also participated in the Nations Cup that we had roughly a month ago. They are really, really strong, and this is going to be a fun one for sure. So we're going straight into this one. Garrosh and Li Ming already being picked, and Nuburak, Karazim, and Reyna for the Mousequetaires. So Nuburak and Karazim already very mobile on that end. They have to protect Jimmy, of course, a bit in the back line, because he's the one that has to be, well, very careful that it doesn't get flipped over by Garrosh, for example. Cocoon would be great here too, banning out Arthurs to make sure that Reyna cannot actually capitalize with his level 1 talent on the Frozen Tempest, but there are other heroes that you can pick in that instance. Blaze would be a good example with Oil Spill. Can slow the opponent down. There's a bit more to add to that too. Battlefield of Eternity is our first map here in this best of 3. And this is actually a pretty sick one. This is a very, very, very awesome match right now. Greymane gets banned. Me Machine can't rely on that. I mean, Greymane, of course, not only amazing when you're trying to burn down structures, but also pretty good when you're trying to get the Immortal. And if you look at the bans just in general right now, you have Sylvanas taken out, Hanzo's already taken away, Tyrande, Greymane in this case. So a lot of the heroes that are actually doing fantastic against the Immortal and the objective are taking off the board. Instead, we're having Li Ming now. Li Ming is fantastic against the Nuburak. She's one of the, well, one of the most consistent picks once that you see a Nuburak on the other side, because her disintegrate burns down the cocoon that quickly. Even the beetles that a Nuburak spawns are not really a reason not to take Li Ming in that case. But Li Ming is also fantastic for the map, because you can in those poke wars always get the damage through in the middle of the map, and that's what they are going to try and of course utilize during the objective phases to get a bit of a lead there and maybe even result in a kill. Rhaegar, Thrall, they go full team smoke here. I mean, look at this. Garrosh, Rhaegar, Thrall. Now you put a Gul'dan in and all of a sudden we have a lot of green on that side. Leo being taken as the last one, so there's a few slows together with Jaina that Jimmy can finally capitalize on, so that's definitely going to be a thing. But what's the last pick for the V Machine? This is going to be the final one for them, and what we still need is a bit more damage. Maybe another melee hero even, if they are trying to play this more melee heavy at the front line. And rely on Li Ming. And there it is again, Sugar Daddy with Artanis, this time on Battlefield. So we're going to see that added value against the Immortal. They were successful with Artanis already once. Can they pull it off again? That's the big question. So we're going to jump in to try and find out which team takes the lead in the best of 3. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, Battlefield of Eternity. And on the left, Sugar Daddy 69 on Artanis, Death Knight on Garrosh. We're having Smaragd on Thrall, going into Trash Lightning as a level 1 talent choice. Actually a valid talent on this map. Slake on Li Ming and Kupshi on Rhaegar. And on the right side of the map, Anuburak for the Mousequetaires for the French team, played by Alchemist. Apex on Leoric. We're having CTO6 on Karazim, XD on Reyna, and Johnny 8 on Jaina. I am totally ready for this. Again, the winning team is going to make it into Division S, and that is what these guys have been fighting for a long time. And you might ask yourself right now, well, this is the semifinal, Khaldor. How can the winning team be qualified for Division S? Well, that's simply because we only have 4 teams that qualify for Division S, 4 out of 8, directly by winning the tournament. The other 4 that will make up the teams or the roster for the league come from points that you accumulate or you can accumulate in every single qualifier by reaching the later rounds of the tournament. And if the Meme Machine wins here, or the Mousequetaires for that matter, they would be so far ahead in points that they would definitely get one of those 4 slots, even if they don't win the grand final. So a pretty important match for the 2 teams, and well, this is what it comes down to. 4 weeks of playing qualifiers and you are in that final best of 3 series where you have to give your all to make sure that you make it into the league. Ooh, and I am hyped for this one. Now, again, we talked a little bit about Thrall. The reason why he's currently in that 4-man down here at the bottom is because he went into Trash Lightning as level 1 talent choice. So let's go real quickly over why he is on this map, or why this is a valid choice. Thrall normally finds himself in the off-lane position, and Echo of Elements is a fantastic tool for that. You get a lot of extra spam out of that procs really well with your trade, especially when you go into Thunderstorm, you can capitalize on that too. But also, of course, with the Frost Wolf pack on 4 and then Alpha Wolf on 16, you can still play that quite nicely. The thing is, though, if you are in the 4-man and if you're pretty much guaranteed that you fight against an opponent a lot without any minions nearby, then you can easily start stacking that talent, and then in the later stages of the game you will have incredible damage output on Thrall with a poke damage. And you will be guaranteed to have these exact fights and circumstances on this map, on Battlefield of Eternity, because of the objective spawning in the middle. Death Knight getting attacked here. Ooh, Alchemist might have been going in a little bit too deep and goes down. First blood secured as Smaragd gets the kill. And Smaragd has actually, again, I said it earlier in one of the games, he put on the big boy pants today. He's definitely been carrying his team quite a lot. We have a lot of great players on the side of the Meme Machine, as we do on the side of the Mousequetaires, by the way. But the Meme Machine has already performed very well today, and Smaragd in particular had a fantastic performance on his Junkrat on Infernal Shrines in the earlier best of 3, and now he's playing a very different hero here with Thrall. Camp again gets taken on both sides, timed a little bit from the Meme Machine as the Mousequetaires are starting to set up too. Mana tight on level 4 for Thrall, so not going full quest talents. Talking quest talents, next to the Bed of Barbs, which is going to help Jim Rayner to proc his level 1 talent. We're now also seeing the Behemoth armor for Jimmy. A bit worried about maybe being flipped in here. And once again, we're going to see that little battle here. This time is actually more aggression from the Meme Machine. And again, 5 stacks already for Thrall, so he's starting to get those stacks together pretty nicely. Only 3.5 minutes in, but here comes the fight. Sugar Daddy is already on point. This time changed, of course, his level 1 talent choice compared to Infernal Shrines. Is sitting on the amateur opponent. Alchemist is again in trouble, and he goes down. That's the second kill against the Nuburak. He's eliminated, and that's definitely not a good start for the Mousequetaires, especially since they also lost the halftime show. Halftime show is already over, and that's an easy burn on the left side here as the Meme Machine is about to claim the first objective of the game, right here. The Nuburak in the meantime with the new Rubian armor on level 1. Again, the Bed of Barbs with the slows for Jimmy. So we're going to see Jaina, Nuburak, and also Leoric provide those slows that he needs. Artanis has in the meantime rotated down to the bottom of the map since the first Immortal is focusing onto the top lane here for them. 7 stacks by now for Thrall. Nothing too crazy yet, but I mean, considering it's 4 minutes and 20 seconds into the game, that's actually pretty decent. Gets up to 8 here. And he will get a lot of damage out over time. The poke that you can get with Thrall with a heavily stacked Trash Lightning is actually pretty sick. So, as we're saying, we have now also Calamity taken, and that level 7 talent is dropping just a little bit quicker for the Meme Machine than for their opponents in red. So now we have a chance to see if he can maybe get a kill here, but Death Knight is so low on Garrosh that he needs to be careful. The wall has already fallen. The fort itself has taken damage, but they're trying to go for another kill. Uh-oh, there's the attack against Garrosh, but a nice save. The cleanse on Rhaegar, of course, helpful too. The Indomitable that we are seeing for him on level 4, also highly important to keep Death Knight alive. And let's not forget that we have Thrall by now with 11 stacks. 5 minutes in the game. 5 minutes in the game. So actually really good setup here for them. Slake down here, starting with Sugar Daddy to go for the camp. Leo is all alone, so they can't do anything about it. Rhaegar is even here to help them out. Problem is that up to the top lane, we're having a 4 versus 2 situation because of this. Alchemists get barely out there as it's getting thrown in. This is the problem that you have with the Nubarak in general. If you go up against Garrosh, you have to be very careful with your burrow charge, because there is a good chance that whenever you burrow charge in against Garrosh, he just throws you in even deeper, and then you don't have an escape left. So for Nubarak, this is a really annoying situation. In general, if you're playing in a Nubarak style, the idea is oftentimes to engage aggressively onto your opponent, get a good stun lock going, and then drop the burst damage through a hero like Jaina. The problem, of course, comes once that you're starting to go in against Garrosh and he throws even further. Instead of you creating a situation where you might get a kill, you find yourself in trouble of dying. So that's the big issue that Alchemists now has on a Nubarak, and he has to play around it a bit and really look for those cooldowns, look for good opportunity, and make sure that they're getting these quick kills. But as we're seeing here, both of the teams on level 9, pretty much even, with even a slight advantage, if you so want, for the Mousequetaires. But of course, from a structural perspective, there is still the lead for the Meme Machine. And they have a lot of damage potential for that next Immortal now. So again, Li Ming, fantastic in that setup against the Immortals. Once that we're having this setup with a stalemate, Li Ming can really just fire away here against the Immortal, get the extra damage in. And she gets the added value against the Nubarak once that we're getting level 10, just simply because the Disintegrate is such a fantastic tool to burn down from a safe distance the Cocoon. And if you play those cards right, the ult on the Nubarak side becomes nearly useless. It depends highly on how well the engage happens from Nubarak and his teammates, but that's a big part of why Li Ming is just so fantastic against the Nubarak, and why that advantage even outweighs the disadvantage of a Nubarak's Beetles soaking some of the damage up. And that's also, exactly as mentioned in the draft, one of the reasons why normally when you see a Nubarak being picked, the opponent's team goes into a Li Ming very quickly. And talking of Nubarak, attacked again here, but it is actually Reyna who's in trouble, and he gets lasered into the ground. The Palm, on the other hand, procs. Ancestral is already through, and Smaragd falls on Thrall, the first one to die. Jimmy still on the run as Sugar Daddy's trying to go for the kill, but he can't get it. And guys, keep in mind, that was a 4 versus 5. That was actually 4 versus 5. Leo wasn't even there, and the Mousequetaires are able to get all the damage out with a Palm hitting Reyna and getting procced. There was just nothing to be done anymore. Very unfortunate situation from the perspective of the Meme Machine, but a great play from the Mousequetaires and a very well coordinated fight from their end. 18 stacks by now on Thrall, by the way, so he's getting there. Ooh, nice attempt at a swap. Not quite enough from Daddy. We have Thrall appearing in the middle here again, as both of the teams are on level 10 abilities. Thrall already at 16,000 damage. Again, this Chain Lightning is doing solid work here right now, and they haven't given up on that objective just yet. Still trying for the defense here, as Sugar Daddy is going for the damage on the left side, but here once again the commitment from the red team as they're moving in. Nice performance from Reyna, but gets swapped regardless. The problem is that Karazim is already dead, and Reyna falls. He's the second one to die. He dodged the initial wolf, but then, of course, getting locked down again. The third kill against Apex. Great play by the Meme Machine. They were behind, and now all of a sudden they're starting to take the lead again on the objective. Thrall himself, of course, also getting more and more stacks together, sitting at 22 stacks on the Trash Lightning. Just 9.5 minutes into the game. He's gonna get so much late game value here. Nice throw into the Immortal stun, and Apex is about to fall. Here comes the throw from Garrosh, trying to put Kupshi in a good position. Ring of Frost is out as the fight continues, and what a finish on the Immortal! 110 against 0 as the Mii Machine claims the Immortal. They're going for the kills now too as Leoric dies again, and they're trying for Alchemist as Nuburak attempts to escape. Sugar Daddy is a little bit too low, but oh my god, that race on the Immortal there. Just a sliver of health left, 110 hit points as the Immortal gets claimed by Artanis. And damn, this game is close. This is sick. Again, this is one of the most important series in this fourth qualifier for sure, and you can already tell that both of these teams are fighting for every single inch. The taunt on the Nuburak, and he goes down. What a kill again. Great setup here. They get the taunt, the swap, and oh my god, Artanis with the setup, the fort down, top lane. Leoric is getting value on the other hand. Apex wants to make sure that they're trading a fort for a fort, but the bot lane is still getting attacked. And even though the Immortal is already eliminated, there's still a massive wave that we're seeing here. And they're attempting to at least break through the wall. So they only trade forts, but they drop the wall at the keep itself. That in itself is already a bit of a victory. Having the half-level lead over your opponent, of course, is a big boon too. The level 13 talents are now in play. And you look over to Thrall and you realize he's at 23 stacks right now. He is 7 away from completing the talent, and then he can just go in and start doing damage. And looking at the damage numbers, it doesn't really come as a surprise that he is the main damage dealer in the entire game. With the way that Smaragd has been stacking this, he's currently sitting at a fantastic spot. The rotation topside happens right now. They're trying to go again for the kill on the fort itself. And yeah, amateur opponent and everything else allows them for a quick demolishing of structure number 2. 2 forts down. But here comes the Nuburak. Is Alchemist going for it? Is he burrowing in? Is he dropping the cocoon? And the answer is no. Rest of the team is not close enough for them to make that play. And it's getting dicey here. It's actually pretty sick. The French team is doing so well with soaking experience. I mean, look at the kill difference. 7 kills against 1, and we have 2 forts eliminated. This one, by the way, is still kinda there. Not really for much longer, as you can imagine, or at least it shouldn't be. But it's still technically on the map, which means there's no catapult spawning right now. So the Mii Machine is still holding on to it. But the really important part is that we only have a half-level lead for the Mii Machine. So the French team has actually done really well soaking the experience on the map, considering their disadvantages. Stun again against Death Knight. On his Garrosh, the swap misses this time. And the Immortal is on the map, and already defensive postures taken. Top lane, the fort should eventually fall now. But the defensive position down here. And keep in mind that this little camp, together with the catapults, can actually rack that keep at the bot lane. So eventually, the Mousequetaires have to react to that. Talking about reacting, XD in trouble. Here comes the suppression pulse, as we're seeing Artanis commit to the heroic ability. Bot lane is pressuring, top fort is about to fall. Still the lead in experience for the Mii Machine, and once that they're seeing Leoric appear here at the bottom trying to defend, they should go for the Immortal, and that is pretty much what we're seeing right now. Smaragd is already on it, and Sugar Daddy follows. They're trying to rotate around, but the halftime show is easily won by the Mii Machine. The blue team doing well here thus far, getting the lead as Leoric defends the bot lane. Slake is a bit low, will need a heal here, and is also tapping off at the fountain. But we have, again, the 2 Immortals in the middle, and both of the teams are shocking around, looking for a position, looking for an opportunity to get the first quick kill in. And of course, there's a lot of initiation through Artanis and a quick swap, or through Garrosh that can be used from the Mii Machine. But some free damage gets dropped by the Mousequetaires, as they're trying to even out the score here. And yeah, both of them are waiting for that one opportunity. And, well, Smaragd, let's take a look at his stacks. He's currently sitting at 26. He's getting closer and closer of completing that. He's about to get another hit in. Good dodge here by him. doesn't get baited. That's the important part. He doesn't get baited to simply use the chain lightning and maybe expose himself too much. They still have Li Ming and can use her. They're also pushing out even more lanes and are at the bot lane now busy getting even more experience. In an ideal world for them, they would of course get level 16. That's something that the Mousequetaires are currently very worried about. It's one of the reasons why they're now starting to make their play, and they're going for Death Knight. Throws him away, tries to escape here. Suppression Pulse hits home once again, and Tomb is ready. Here's the swap. Daddy is moving out as we see Thrall with the Earthquake. The Ring of Frost though, the Ancestral comes in too late, and the double kill as Artanis and Thrall both die. Ancestral too late, the 16 talent not there yet, and the Mousequetaires are killing 2 heroes, but they're losing Jaina. Once again, the meme machine starting to turn these fights around. This time they only get 1 kill, but they make it into a 3 versus 4, which would actually allow them to fight around the Immortal a little bit and maybe buy themselves a bit more time. They're already starting to move in here, and yep, you can't take that as easily. 16 talents are ready for them, so that gives them a bit of an advantage. Li Ming is in trouble on the other hand. Slake needs to be careful here. Jumps out once again, but Kharazim is ready for the kill. Li Ming survives for now, tries to blink in, gets the heal, and oh my god, they're still going for it, and Kharazim is low, dashes away in the last moment. Death Knight is also ready and back to business as we're having the stun potentially against Apex. It's a 5 versus 5 on the map again as everybody that died is starting to move in once more, but it's still the fight for the Immortal. This is still ongoing there, and they're rotating in again, and the burst potential is just so much better for the meme machine. They're going for the Immortal. They're going to get this for sure. The question is there a kill against them? Here's the Cocoon. They go for the Immortal, and there it is. They get the Immortal, but Li Ming is down. Are more dying? Yes. Artanis is down, and Death Knight on his Garrosh is on the run. Immortal is secured, but they're losing 2, they're losing 3, and all of a sudden, the Mousequetaires are in the lead in experience. Big wave at the top lane, dropping one of the towers already, down to the bottom of the map. Similar picture, and of course, the blue team has no chance of pushing with the Immortal. It gets burned down very, very quickly here. Down they go. Immortal might be able to take the wall, but shouldn't really get much more than that. Looking down to Thrall, we are seeing him at 29 stacks, by the way. And they're already setting up to claim the camp as quickly as they possibly can. Immortal itself gets actually baited behind the gate. It doesn't even attack anything here. Fair enough. But now, with Thrall, of course, we are having him on 16 with a Thunderstorm, so even more slows and more damage that comes from him. Putting that into perspective a little bit, the damage output of Thrall is already at 39,000, has been overtaken by Reyna in the damage output. But it is a dicey situation, and uh-oh, the setup. Yeah, Death Knight and Sugar Daddy need to be careful here. Oh, they're not the only ones that need to be careful. The taunt and the damage again on a Nubarak. But here comes the Ring of Frost, the Entomb, and the Ancestral this time hits home in time. They're going in again, and they're low. And Nubarak is low, and the kill against Reyna as he dies first. Still Li Ming with a laser trying to go for the show here, but not able to secure kill number 2. They're starting to rotate towards the keep now. And in that 4 versus 5, they have a good chance together with the Khaldor camp that they just took to claim the first keep of the game. Thrall completed his talent as well, his level 1, and can now start poking even more than before. The swap attempts again of Daddy as we're seeing the keep falling slowly but still surviving for now, and they won't be able to get that just yet, but a bit more damage comes from Li Ming here. Slake needs to be careful, can't stay out too low. Swap attempt again, 10 seconds until Jimmy is back, and they are moving away from the fight. A lead in experience still for the Mousequetaires. The French team looking strong here. But we're also having now that completed Trash Lightning, and that makes it a lot easier to get the damage in with the Chain Lightning, since it is starting to prioritize heroes now. So even in minion waves, you have that opportunity. Level 16 abilities here, the Numbing Blast. Teams are starting to rotate after taking those shaman camps, especially the bot lane, of course, in trouble again. Mousequetaires will have to defend eventually, but none of the teams has a good chance of getting into 20 just yet. Sugar Daddy with immediate ult. Maybe a little bit too soon. The commitment wasn't quite there yet. Bot lane pressure is in. Apex will have to rotate eventually. He can't just sit there the entire time. That bottom keep is in trouble. Ooh, he's in trouble too! And he goes down. Leoric is dead. Leo is down. That was a quick kill, and now the bot lane is completely exposed, and so is the Immortal. They're gonna go for the halftime show here. Easy peasy. And at the bottom of the map, with the camp pushing in, the rotation of the Mousequetaires is, of course, happening as we see Kharazim moving in. The rest up here still fighting for the halftime show. That's an easy victory right there. Someone has to defend against the Shamans up to the top, and that's where Daddy comes into play. Takes this one easily. But down here, the Immortal is already under attack. The rotation comes over, and they force them back. But it is still, so far at least, a big win. Big win for the Meme Machine. But they haven't won the Immortal yet. They're close. But they haven't taken it yet. Whew. Leo's again at the bot lane, shows. And this is where Li Ming comes into play. Fires away, over and over. Slake, of course, needs to be very careful that he doesn't get attacked here, and already had to teleport away. But another shot hits, and that Immortal is down to 9,000 HP. Daddy again with a potential pressure here at the side. Nearly level 20 for the Mousequetaires, by the way. Here's the Entomb on the other hand. Great throw, and also the Ring of Frost comes in, but it doesn't do enough damage. Easy move out with the unstoppable frames on Death Knight as he rotates away from the Blizzard and the Ring of Frost. Daddy was already thrown out, and that's big cooldowns burned here. The stun on the Immortal doesn't do anything, and they go easily for it. That's 100% shield Immortal if they claim it right now, and it looks like they will exactly do that. Alchemist is in trouble too. Cocoon gets burned down, but a disintegrate. Immortal is taken. If they can get the kill, they might go for the game even. They drop the Earthquake, and that's the kill against Reyna. Reyna is down. Kharazim with a palm. Oh, the Ice Block fending it. And that's the double kill against Kharazim and Jaina. An absolute disaster for the Mousequetaires here. Level 20 abilities have just been hit. They could go for the keep at the bottom of the map, but of course they try to finish top lane now. They're going for Leo. Leo even going deep in, but he is going to fall as well. There's the slow thanks to the Earthgrass Totem. Leoric is down, and now they're rotating towards the top with 100% shield. Immortal is already in play. 20 minutes into this, and it looks more and more likely that the Meme Machine is going to walk away with the victory in game number 1, taking the lead in the best of 3 series. One step closer to Division S. They go for the taunt against the Nubarak. The lockdown through Thrall. They try to get the kill, the swap, and that is it. This is game right here. That is going to be it for sure. Everybody down on the side of the Mousequetaires, and we have the Meme Machine with game number 1 successfully in their hands, taking the lead in the best of 3 series of the semifinal of the Division S qualifier. Game number 2. 2 of the Spider Queen. The Meme Machine against the Mousequetaires. And the Meme Machine, they had a great first game. So did the Mousequetaires, to be honest. It was a fantastic opening here on Battlefield of Eternity. And now we have first pick and first ban on the side of the Meme Machine. Meaning that the digital Mousequetaires actually chose the map. And well, for them, they have to win 2 in a row now to make it from the semi-final into the grand final, and obviously also to qualify for Division S here. The Meme Machine is only 1 map win away from accomplishing the same goal. So at this point, we're having Maiev banned out, Sylvanas as well. And I wouldn't really be sure. I mean, again, we haven't really seen too many Genji bans recently, but this is a map where you could ban him out. Then you still think about a Nubarak for Alchemist. They really love to play that style. Zeratul is a hero that you have to at least consider to an extent. I mean, there's a lot happening at this point where you just try and study your opponent's team as much as you can and try and take a couple of their comfort picks away from them. In this case, it's Imperius that gets banned out, so we're not going to see that on the side of the red team anytime soon. And what are we going to see from the Mousequetaires? I mean, the Meme Machine, they have actually shown a decent amount of Zeratul too, so it's not like they can't go for a Zeratul composition either with a Void Prison into Jaina's Ring of Frost, or maybe even with Diablo. Diablo on Tomb of the Spider Queen is also quite powerful, but then you can also play Tyrande compositions with Nubarak engages, so at least Garrosh gets banned out, and that would make me suspicious immediately, because as we said, Alchemist, he loves to play his Anubarak, and I talked quite in detail about how it's problematic as an Anubarak player going up against a good Garrosh and trying to get that engage perfectly set up. And you could actually see him struggle. So with Garrosh banned out, there's a chance that we're going to see a Nubarak still taken by the red team. Hanzo prioritized by Slake on the other hand. That's the first pick on the side of the meme machine. And now the big question. A Nubarak, yes or no? Are they going to try it again with a similar strategy? They could follow that up with a Tyrande pick or also a Malfurion pick if they wanted to. If that's the goal here. It is still Tomb, so there's a huge amount of strategies you can play. Wave clear reigns supreme, and that's what's currently mirrored in the first two picks that we have for them. Now they're not going for the hey, let's kill heroes approach. Instead they're trying to play with Johanna's wave clear, with Jaina's wave clear of course too. Could still play Jimmy if they wanted to. They have slows now through Punish on Johanna's side. They have Jaina of course for even more slows. Could still use as the offlaner Leo, Arthur's, Blaze. So Jimmy would work, but well, we talked about it. A Nubarak and Tyrande, and we don't get them on the side of the French team, but the meme machine, they're committed to it. So now we have a Nubarak and Tyrande for that stun into stun setup. And things are starting to become interesting. They can't follow that up with Jaina's damage, but there is still enough there that you can pull off. Orphea, for example, would work. Hanzo already does a lot of damage. You can get an auto-attacker next to it if you get access to, let's say, Reyna. Personally, I think Reyna is very likely going to get picked away. Junkrat would have been another option. Can go into another mage if you like you need a bit more wave clear. Can go for Gul'dan, for example. Drop a bit of damage there with him too. But what's the ban right now? What are you going to get rid of when you're at a meme machine? What are you afraid of at this case? Are you trying to focus onto the offlane a bit, or are you getting rid of Reyna and just saying, alright, he is going to do too much damage? Nope, they are just making sure that there is no wombo setup with a Void Prison into the Ring of Frost. Let Jimmy through if he is to be taken by their opponents. But again, there's a lot to already trigger the level 1 talent, so Jimmy would be good in that sense that he can get the damage out. The mobility, that's a different story, because the Nubarak and Tyrande would start homing in on him pretty heavily if they can. But Jimmy as a sustained damage dealer would still be a decent choice for the Mousequetaires, and well, there we have him. Jimmy taken, Rhaegar also dropped, and, well, with that, having the last two picks on the meme machine. They need some more burst damage, need something a bit more cooldown heavy that really can deliver right now. And also, offlane is still needed. I mean, in theory, you can even go for two melee heroes again, put Thrall in there, set something else up with maybe Blaze, who can first of all do some damage, but also provide a bunker. And it's Gul'dan, talked about him earlier. Ooh! Sugar Daddy is at it again. No Atanis this time. Nope, instead we are seeing Chen. And there is Leoric once more for the French team. Ladies and gentlemen, Chen is at it again as we are headed into potentially the last game of the semi-final. Is the meme machine able to qualify for Division S, or will the Mousequetaires force game number 3? Let's find out. Game number 2 in the best of 3 here, the semi-final of the last and final Division S qualifier. Meme Machine on the left in blue with Death Knight on Anubera, Kupshi on Tyrande, Sugar Daddy 69 with the extra sugar here today, playing Chen, Smaragd on Gul'dan, and Slake on Hanzo. And on the right side of the map, the French team and the Mousequetaires with Alchemists on Johanna, CTO6 on Rhaegar, Apex on Leoric, Johnny 8 on Jaina, and we have XD on Reyna. Alright, time to shine. Let's see if Chen can make the plays here. Level 1 talent, the fresh ingredients right away. Regeneration globes once again supreme. And as you can imagine, this is a fantastic map for that. Easy rotations between lanes, a lot of globes that you have access to. So it's pretty awesome to complete that very, very quickly and then get the extra value. And Daddy is already at it. Jumping in, jumping out. And he's going to be really annoying later on in the game here. So Sugar Daddy is going to, for the beginning of the game, deal with Leoric at the bottom of the map. All comes down to, obviously, the drains that we're seeing from Leoric, if you can connect those. We have Pursuit of Flame taken for Gul'dan as the level 1 talent. Going to try and get those stacks in against the enemy heroes, and well, we have seen that actually that particular build recently a bit more often, starting to get some variation into it. I mean, Jimmy has already expected going straight into his ace in the hole. We talked a bit about the slows that are available. Rhaegar, of course, has the totem. Then you have Jaina, you have Leoric, and even Johanna has slows that she can provide to help that to be triggered. Level 7 talent for Jimmy allows him to do the same thing for himself. So, yeah, so far so good. Death Knight with the attempt here doesn't quite connect that stun. But it was a bit of a prediction stun, hoping for the hero to actually move into it, which didn't quite happen there. It is a tense game. I mean, the first map already was insanely close. There were so many fights that just were turned around in the middle of it. And this is a game where you could easily see a comeback happen from the Mousequetaires as they're pushing through the mid lane now with the first cruiser camp. It comes down to the question, are nerfs going to become an issue here? Jimmy already with the damage here from the side. Everybody pushed into the choke point, and, well, Chen is starting to make his way in. Already working, of course, to get an extra glow, but Death Knight goes down. And it's a quick kill. That's a very, very quick kill that we're actually seeing at this point. Job well done on the side of the Mousequetaires. Get the quick one in here. Sugar Daddy at the bottom of the map catches the experience, is there in time. But now we have 17 gems already turned in. Level 4 talents are finally also ready on the other side. Level 4, by the way, Conviction, so the extra easy engage from Johanna as Alchemist is still trying to get those waves through. They even look at the rotation towards the bottom of the map. And in the meantime, Rhaegar is busying himself at those Siege Giants. Things are actually starting to look really good for the Mousequetaires. Ho, 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 Daddy! Please! Barely surviving here. But again, the engage. Oh, Jojo, good move from her. Problem is that Rhaegar is about to take those Siege Giants at the bottom, and so far that hasn't been sniffed out. Siege Giants are taken. Now Chen has to deal with that too. All the pressure on the Panda. He already has a tough enough life because he's always getting bullied for being too fat and drunk. And now he also has to deal with the Siege Giants. I mean, that's Panda bullying right there. We can't really have that. I'm personally offended. So, that said, we already have rotations now towards the top lane to drop Jaina, and Jaina's a little bit far out. Hello? Johnny? I don't know. Johnny was thinking about shooting the next movie and not really focus on Heroes of the Storm here. You can see how that turned out. Don't mix up your side job with your real job, my friend. Can't have that. And well, down to the bottom, we have Daddy still trying to deal with those Siege Giants. But that kill was a really, really good one for the meme machine. Memeing hard to secure the first one for themselves. Chen, by the way, with the Ring of Fire. Pretty much the same build that he has used. I mean, if you don't tune into all of the Heroes of the Storm games, you might have missed the Chen games that we've seen from him in the past. But this is a pretty consistent build for him. Oh, the stuns against XD and another kill! They get the kills here, one after another. The meme machine absolutely not impressed by that early aggression from the Mousequetaires and the kill that they brought through. And now they're about to get their first turn in. They're actually doing extremely well with this. 21 gems delivered from Sugar Daddy. They're into 41. Alchemist is going for the interrupt. Both of the teams now on level 7 talents. But yeah, the meme machine is definitely fighting back at this point. Up to the mid lane. Kupshi in position. Slake still, of course, playing around the arrow. Went straight on level 1 into the target practice. Explosive arrows and the Dragon Hungers. So more of a Storm build focus with the build here on the map. Especially the explosive arrows, of course, helping him to burn these waves down. Again, the engage against Leoric down at the bottom of the map. That didn't quite work. And Sugar Daddy starting to move in and makes this pretty much an anti-W moment right there. Well, in typical anti-W fashion, he doesn't really care about the heroes. He's just interested in the objective. That's how you play Heroes of the Storm, as we all know, Peppa. But there's the jump. There's the attempt at the body block. And moving away. He, by the way, has 11 stacks already on his level 1. The blue web weavers are now descending as Daddy himself is at the bot lane and gets the last remaining experience points from that minion wave. 12 stacks for him now on the level 1, so the regeneration is starting to kick in hard for him. Jumps out again as the web weavers are coming into play. And at the same time, Gul'dan is still working on those level 1 stacks as well. 29 for him so far. Extra damage against Alchemists right there. And there's the web weaver wave. How much damage can they actually get in? That's the big question at this point. Top lane already getting focused by Smaragd here. Hitting XD again. And he's starting to drop really low. By the way, speccing again into the Behemoth armor here. bot lane, Chen and Hanzo are pushing here, as we're seeing Johanna getting body blocked, having to use the Iron Skin too. And there comes the damage output against the towers. One down, the second to fall. Bot lane Leoric is not going to do too much here either. And here comes Daddy. But Apex is still mounted and able to move away, at least for now. But as you can see, he's not... Ooh, and the kill! That's gems loss? No. Alchemist is there to at least recover the gems. The problem, of course, is still that the fort already took a massive amount of damage here. So yeah, with that, we're having the fort already down to half HP, level 10 abilities now ready for the meme machine. And they are getting closer and closer to make it to Division S. The keg is now in play. Could see that happening. Daddy on 16 stacks now for his level 1 quest. The regeneration again is increasing, helping him a lot with the sustain in all of these fights now too. Level 10 abilities on both sides, and of course gives us the Entomb into the Ring of Frost. Yeah, the engage on both sides, and there's the setup. Ooh, the suck in against Leo and Khaldor. He goes down, but Johnny, oh my god, they're barely safe through the Ancestral, but Jaina dies regardless. She might not be the only one. Daddy came at the perfect moment in time here and took Jaina out. Now having Sugar Daddy, again a little bit low, but capitalizing on the stacks that he already accumulated on his level 1, moving straight back in towards the bot lane, as we can see right now. But the fight is continuing at the top over the turning point, trying to make sure they're going to get a little bit of value in this one. Well, we're having the turning for the red team this time. They're able to make that happen. Even with Jaina not being here, they're able to make that play and get their own Web Weaver wave secured. So maybe a bit of counter pressure and taking one of the forts down would be a big win for them. Currently they're down in kills by 2. Daddy is still getting his value at the bottom of the map. More globes for him the entire time. And in the middle of the map, the pressure against 16 is way too far out. Way too far. But gets barely saved. Or does he? Oh, no, he doesn't. Hanzo goes in for the kill. Definitely a bit of a mispositioning here from Reyna. Johanna was trying to peel for him and also block for him. But with the Nubarak coming in from the side here for the flank, that was just too much. Talking about too much. The stuns. Oh, my God. The double kill. Johanna and Rhaegar are both dead, and here comes the keg against Jaina, and she is dead again. 8 kills against 2. The meme machine just brutalizing their opponent right now. The Mousequetaires in a really bad spot, a level behind. The Web Weaver is not really giving them the value they were hoping for. The gems basically gone without any thing in return, and now of course an easy turn, and if they want it, for the blue team, as we're seeing Sugar Daddy getting even more regeneration globes. He's sitting at 22. He got everything that he wants. He has some fantastic plays already, just coming in at the end of every single fight for additional kills thanks to the keg, and they are just absolutely, I mean, they're murdering them. Let's be honest here. The Mousequetaires, they need a win. They need a team fight win. They need to have something where they can just wipe a few heroes out, because if they don't, this is starting to become the beginning of the end. Let's just put it like that. The Fell Armor here now too, for the extra Spell Armor, especially against Jaina, of course, fantastic. The quest completed on level 1 already quite some time ago. And we still have heroes working on their baseline quests, especially, of course, Anubarak with the Regeneration Master, and we've talked about Jen quite a bit. He's 7 out of completing that level 1 quest talent. But at the bot lane, the fort is already gone, and Sugar Daddy is still collecting a few more gems, but starts the rotation now in the middle, where we're seeing more of a focus from the meme machine onto fort number 2. And there's already the rotation in, going straight for Alchemist. Of course he pops the Iron Skin, but that fort is already gone. There comes the cleanse as Daddy again goes in, but he goes down. The Panda is dead. A bit too aggressive in the tower range, but a great Horrify secures the kill against Reyna. Jimmy is down. He might not be the only one, because Alchemist is also low. It's a ton of damage here, and he's, well, he's joined by Apex. One is Leoric nearly falls. We have now 14.5 against level 13. The wall is opened, and they are even getting damage in at the bottom of the map, as Apex is barely defending against the Web Weaver. The move away as the Meme Machine realizes that they can just play this safe for now. They still have 39 gems against the 41 that are being held by the Mousequetaires. But what a game here once again. I mean, game number 1, was insane. And a tennis victory and those comebacks that we saw. But now we have Chen again in play, and it is looking really good for the Meme Machine, despite the kill against the Panda. 9 kills against 3. You're looking over towards the damage, 33,000 already for Gul'dan. We have 23 on Jimmy's side, but things are starting to snowball a bit in favor of the Meme Machine. It's mainly because of the talents at this point, because they're only half a level away from getting level 16. And this is one of the reasons why right now the Mousequetaires, they are going to try and turn in. The problem is they cannot really make any moves because there's a camp pushing through the mid lane they have to deal with. Chen is pushing the bot lane. The rest of the blue team is trying to work on their own turn in, also guarding the top turn in spot. The waves are mostly pushed out, so there's little that they can do. Daddy turns in at the bottom, that puts them to 51, so they're only a few gems away from getting a turn in for themselves, and now 16 is here too. Epicenter alone is already a massive problem that you have to deal with. And on top of that, we're now seeing the flying leap as well. So you have even the range increase for Daddy, which makes him more mobile in all of these fights, makes his engage easier, and allows him to get that keck through. And the 16, of course, with a rampant hellfire. And that alone is just absolutely brutal with that extra damage that you get through that. And it's tough. This is going to be tough. This is the toughest moment for the Mousequetaires, because now the Blue Web Weavers are coming. They don't have 16. It's a talent disadvantage, a stats disadvantage. The objective is pushing against you. This is the moment when the Meme Machine is going to try to get max value. Try and drop a keep, ideally more, get a few kills, and the Mousequetaires, they have to somehow face that onslaught if they want to force the next game. And to add insult to injury, we're having Chen also complete his quest talent. Which means that right now, he also has the additional shield persisting after drink, and that's fantastic for him as well. Even harder to kill, and only one single regeneration globe away from a Nuburak to completing the regeneration master and getting the extra 500 health, which obviously is another big problem just around the corner. Leo the one to defend in the middle. At the bottom it's still pushing. This one is pretty much a foregone conclusion. Leo of course also getting the experience in the middle of the map. They're rotating to drop all of this, trying to make sure that one keep is all they lose, and we're actually having the Meme Machine moving away. They get a keep and they leave it at that. One keep and a bit of damage in the mid lane. Very little here at the bottom. Just about to drop the tower, but the 16 talent is now in the hands of their opponent. Setting something up around the boss. This is probably one of the most difficult scenarios now for the Meme Machine, because now you're facing 16 versus 16 talents. What play do you make at this point? You can't be too aggressive, but you want to look for an opportunity. Here comes the attack against Daddy. The Entomb is there, but that's a big problem. Cocoon is on the ground against Rhaegar. No more Ancestral for him. The damage continues, and here comes the Keck. They're going for Jaina. Jaina is in trouble, and she is dead. Jaina down. The Horrify against Johanna. And that's the double kill. Daddy and Alchemist. It's the kill as we are having Reyna fall, and that is 5 heroes against 3 as we see the Meme Machine moving towards their core, moving towards victory as the Meme Machine is about to qualify for division as through a victory over the Digital Mousequetaires in the semifinal of the 4th qualifier. A 2-0 victory as they drop the core and Tomb of the Spider Queen, claim the 2-0 and secure their spot in division. As congratulations to the Meme Machine. Well played, GG, and congratulations.